It's Monday. You know what that means. Time for another episode of the Flex Zone Podcast. Only place giving sports how you want it when you need it. Episode 432. You know what to do. March Madness, preview and predictions. Take a look at the men's and women's brackets. Talk about Derrick Henry, Baltimore Raven. Patrick Queen goes to the Steelers. And the Steelers, along with Russell Wilson, bringing another quarterback to fill out their quarterback room for the future. It's the Flex Zone Podcast. Make sure you guys slam dunk that subscribe button. Lay up that like button. Go ahead and back down that bell and donate via the Flex Zone 1. Episode 432 coming to you right now here on the Flex Zone Podcast. It is the Flex Zone Podcast Mondays. You know what that means. More exciting than that NCAA selection Sunday reveal. It's the Flex Zone Podcast. Only place fellas give me sports how you want it.
When you need it.
Throw your ones up. Acknowledge the head of the sports podcast table. The Flex Zone Podcast. The Flex Zone 1 at gmail.com. Guest ideas want to be part of the show. Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. The Flex Zone 1. And of course, on now TikTok. Flex Zone Podcast. You can donate via Cash App, the Flex Zone 1. Episode 432, NCAA March Madness, men's and women's. We're talking about the Ravens signing Derrick Henry, Patrick Queen going to the Steelers, and a quarterback we all like, traded to the Steelers for a box of cookies to join another quarterback as
Girl Scout cookies. Now, them Girl Scout cookies, they do be on point, bro.
Yes, but if you're in the chat right now, make sure y'all hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that bell. Let us know your thoughts on all the free agency fiasco and frenzy going on. As we get to tonight's show, we get things started with the voice of reason tonight. The co-founder, the captain of the goofy ship, Cravante, Bay. Cravante, how you feeling today? Let's get you up in here. It's March, but the Commanders are still cooking down in DC.
Haters can't stand us.
I don't like this. I don't like it. I don't like this. I don't like it.
Commanders, we fight for RTC, who are we?
He's so into it.
Commanders. Those hate.
Oh, I thought you was starting back up.
I am Adam Peters he's giving a master's class on how to retool an organization, bring some relevance back to organization that was once very much down in the dumps. He's filling holes left and right. He's doing what he got to do. We still got a ton of cap, but I figured he's going to fill the holes. I don't think anybody's going to get any big contract. So his plan is working really, really well. We finally got some good pieces. I'll get into it a little bit later, but I like where the Commanders are trending. I'm not saying we're gonna win a division, make the playoffs or anything like that, but I do think we will be significantly better than last year.
We'll talk about it in a little bit, but this next man, he's always good. He's always better than the best. He is the tribal chief, the pride of the East Side, the savior misbehavior. He's back from the A, fresh off set, and on another private jet. He does not quit working. Mr. Balsall University, the Flex Zone Messiah, the co-founder along with Cravante, Jersey Dre, the super producer, Mr. Morgan State University, the straw that stirs the drink.
Acknowledge me.
Hey man, what's good, everybody? This your boy Dre, and just excited for another exciting edition of the Flex Zone, man. We about to get right into it because it's one of my favorite times of the year, March Madness.
Trey, you said it right there, brother. Let's get straight into it. Let's not waste any time. March Madness is here, Dre. As I pull up the bracket, what are your thoughts? What are your takeaways? How do you see this playing out? And just go ahead and cook, brother. How you feeling, man?
I'm feeling good. You know, of course, I'm not happy about Duke being number 4. That's um, Duke. I'm always going to be biased towards my Duke Blue Devils. I think this year is just a weird bracketing year when you're looking at it. I mean, you see like Kentucky at 3. You see in some of these matchups right here. As you like you said, you got the bracket on set, and I'm looking through the bracket myself. I think it's weird, especially like on the women's side. Of course, South Carolina being where being where they should be. I like Iowa. I do like Iowa at 1. LSU though in the women's side at 3. That's one I did disagree on. UCLA on the women's side at 2. So I think that the committee is just. I don't think the committee may not have totally gotten it right this time. Usually in the past, I may have agreed with a lot of their seedings, but I wasn't. I questioned a lot of it. Now there are some matchups though that I am looking forward to, like on the women's side, the North Carolina, Michigan State matchup in the first. I am looking forward to in the first round, right here with like Houston. In their matchup, I know it's a 1-16, but I think even though Houston will probably win, I think Longwood would just that's the name of the school, man.
I know.
Finish him, Daddy.
Pause, man. Jeez.
Immature, yo.
Just go ahead, man. You
Well, I had the women's pulled up, Drake, because you mentioned it, and Cavante said it yesterday that the women's tournament is more excited than the men's. Do you agree with that? And we could potentially get a LSU Iowa rematch in Elite 8.
And that's what I'm saying. Like when you're looking at the bracketing, it's like, it's just it's just not what I would have loved for it to happen. Now South Carolina can take on either LSU or Iowa possibly in the championship, but that you would think that LSU and Iowa would match up later, how like when you're looking at the bracketing, but to be in the Elite 8, it's like, no, you want all eyes to be on these people because you want to get the big draw. And that's the only downfall I say, and why I said that I'm questioning, did they really look at like when they were making the bracket how things would match up? I think the problem we've been talking about on the men's side is just the one and dones. You don't really get as excited with them. I feel like as you would in the past, and I just think the committee just seems like they just threw this stuff together, man.
Yeah, Cavante, I want to get your thoughts on the women, and then I want to get your Final Four predictions. But I don't see really anybody touching South Carolina, and I think LSU, Iowa, they're going to get rid of each other. I don't know how good Texas is. I think Stanford should be the favorite in that region. But I don't know, Cavante. How you feeling, man? Because you said the women were more exciting than the men.
Because that's where the matchups are. That's what I think that's where the money is right now. LSU and Iowa being in the same bracket, being in the same region is crazy to me. Like they're on a collision course to the Elite 8, possibly.
Yeah, it is.
So that's all that's what I'm looking for. I agree with you, Byron. I think South Carolina is gonna roll. I think they're going to roll. I don't think ultimately, let's see, Texas. It's Texas and Maryland's on this side, Gonzaga. Stanford, Texas. I don't know. On like this side of the bracket, well, I guess this side of the bracket, I don't think anybody got anything for South Carolina. I just think South Carolina is entirely too good. Dawn Staley is too good of a coach to, and she's gonna have these girls prepared. Well, she's gonna have these young ladies prepared. I love Iowa and LSU matchup for for obvious reasons. Dating back to last year, so Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese. That's the matchup, and who knows, they may continue the trajectory into the WNBA. You know what I'm saying? And that's what we want. That's what keeps sports going is rivalries like that. If it ain't no conflict, it ain't much going on. That's why I don't care for the men's bracket or the men's college basketball this year, because there's no conflict. The conflict is on the women's side. Caitlin Clark, Angel Reese, conflict. We got Iowa and we got LSU. And then on top of that, we got the top dogs over. It was that Albany one. The top dogs is over there. So it's a bunch of different storylines going on because who won last year? South Carolina won. Who won last year?
Last year was
LSU won.
LSU won last year.
LSU won.
Now the year before that, was South Carolina, I believe, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
They've only lost 3 matchups in 3 years. They're trying to go undefeated, and like you said, I think because the women stay, name recognition with the coaches, I think that's why the women's side is more intriguing than as opposed to the men. I think, like I said, I think the one and done rule in the NBA is hurting the men's side, and
you think the one and done is hurting the men's side?
I think this is one of those years where it's hurting the men because you think about it. Caitlin Clark, she stayed. Angel Reese, she stayed. Dawn, we know like about their coaching, like the men's side. Usually we do talk about the coaches like the Calipari's, but there's no outside of like maybe a Calipari, you don't have those same staple coaches like you did in the past with Duke, North Carolina. Like you don't have those guys, that recognition that we've had in the past to kind of familiarize yourself with a particular school. So I think that kind of also hurts the men's side as well too. And also like before, like when we had one and done, we kind of like, okay, this person's projected to like go to the NBA. There's not no real follow this year to be like, okay, this person is like the real standout. He's going to the league. I just don't feel like we have that same, like I said, we don't have those same storylines as opposed to the women. We know, hey, Caitlin Clark's about to go number 1. Hey, where's Angel Reese going to land? We don't have any of that on the men's side, I feel like this year.
Well, let's look at
you think it's the one and dones. Man, oh
I
man.
I think this year is one of those years that the one and done rule is hurting the men's side.
I think number one, you do have a point, but I think the one and dones have been a thing for a while now. I think I've said this for quite some time now. The NIL is jacking up. Is jacking it up for the men's because the men's have much more. Let me see. They move around way more than the women do. The women, I feel like the women are their value is in loyalty, and the guys are trying to get the bag. And I think along with like because the one that does like Calipari, Coach K when he was here, Williams, they was finding ways to still be relevant, even with the one and done rule. Like Calipari was the coach, was the coach guard.
I'm about to say that might have been the godfather of the one and done.
He got because he no matter what, he was in somebody's high rankings and he was going to somebody's Final Four. You know what I'm saying? So I think now, again, I blame it seems like I'm blaming everything on the NIL, but it's a thing. it's absolutely a thing now. Guys are moving around way more than women do. Once women are good where they at, they gonna stay. They gonna absolutely stay. And guys looking for the bag, and they trying to get to the NBA as fast as possible. Women,
And
it's not necessarily the case. That's why they have a better product. But truthfully, the women's basketball has always had a better product than the men's basketball, just from
and,
a fundamental skill set.
and I think that earlier
But
today too, we were talking about. I think that with the transfer portal. Now I'm not sure. So Byron, is it that they can transfer during March Madness, or
I'll get the details on that because it just opened
okay?
today, so
That's
I'll get
something.
the
Yeah,
details on that.
that's something we were
damn,
we
during
were
March
looking at.
Madness is crazy.
Yeah. How do y'all see this men's shaking out? I mean, y'all have a Final Four. Y'all have any upsets? Anything we should look forward to?
Um, I think UConn is definitely gonna go back. I would love to see Houston. We've talked about Houston for years, but then Houston ends up not doing much. I want to say Kentucky, but sometimes like Kentucky hasn't been in there like they have in the past. Duke. We've had some losses this year, so I'm not. I'll be honest. This is a year where I'm not going to pick Duke to actually to go as far. Maybe like Elite Eight, but they're not. I don't think that they're going much further than that. Other than that, like I said, I really go with. If I had to pick somebody, it's going to be UConn. I'm just looking at the bracket for real. It's just that I mean, to me, on the men's side, that's where I am. On the women's side, of course, I'm gonna go with South Carolina because South Carolina just seems to be steamrolling their way through whoever, and they just seem to be on a mission from last year. And I think that if they had to pick it, they would love to take on Iowa, and a lot of people would love to see Caitlin Clark finally get a ring, but you also want to see Dawn complete this undefeated streak right now. So that's a real outstanding storyline to me, as opposed to where on the men's side it's kind of we're unsure, and I don't feel like there's a true favorite for the men as opposed to the women.
Real quick on the transfer portal, it looks like players have until May 1st. It went from 60 days to 45 days, and there are more than 1,800 eligible players to put their names in
That
the
don't make no
portal.
sense.
And
Wow.
basically,
Not during
like,
the tournament. After the
During
tournament,
tournament is
yeah, but
wild.
not during.
yes. So it'll be a large transfer portal class. There'll be multi-year transfers if there's no punishment. And they leverage negotiations, like Cavante said, with NIL. That is a part of the deal to get people transferred away. And it opened today at 4 p.m. And yeah, you got pretty much a 30-day window to enter the portal, and you have 45 days. It closes on May 1st. So there you go.
And when I talk about NIL, that's what I mean. I mean the NIL along with the transfer portal, because I feel like they're one and the same. Just the movement. I think this is crazy. I can't wait to see what happens, but this is unprecedented. It's really, really crazy. But I mean, on the men's side, I mean, at this point, I'm just going with old reliable. I'm going with the Blue Bloods. UConn, North Carolina. I feel like the champion is going to come from, one of those two programs, just for familiarity and the championship pedigree. That's what I'll lean on, because there's nothing else that I'm drawn to. There's no team that's trying to go undefeated. There's no top guys that I'm really aware of that's like gonna kill it, that we know gonna kill it in the draft. It's just men's basketball. It just seems like a letdown.
Yeah, This year is a total letdown. Like you said, you got North Carolina and UConn. They both have 1 seeds, but when you look at some blue blood staples, you got Kentucky at 3, Duke at 4, Gonzaga at 5. Like what happened this year? Just like I said, as a Duke fan, I knew I already know that this is not our year, because we just had some losses that you just really question yourself at. I remember I think we lost to, I want to say, Xavier, and it was just like or was it Wake? It was Wake Forest. That's what it was. The Wake Forest loss kind of just told me, like, yeah, this ain't the year, dog. And sometimes you have funny losses throughout the season, but that one was just the one when I was just like, yeah, bro, we ain't got it. We ain't who we used to be.
No, but I think that's pretty much everybody here, because me being a Kentucky fan, it was good times. It was some really, really good times, and those times are long gone. I would love to see, and Kentucky does have a shot, but I just don't feel it this year. So I'm just gonna stick to the old reliable and say that the championship is probably gonna come from UConn or UNC. That's just I'm just thinking, and Dre, it says something that the old reliables are still there.
Mm-hmm.
They haven't been overtook by anybody.
Now, I am seeing something that normally I haven't seen, where you're seeing these 2-16 matchups. Is that a new thing, Byron? Because usually the 16 would just go straight to take on a 1 seed, but I'm seeing like they have like Howard,
like they have
Howard Wagner.
Yeah, it's 68 teams. So you got the first 4. So you got games on Tuesday and Wednesday.
So
that's right, because it expanded to 68 teams this year. Okay, that's all right. I do.
But no, wait, no, it was always like that. They always had a first 4.
Yeah, it's been the first 4 for a few years.
They're playing for the 16th seed in whatever region that is. So it's Wagner and Howard are both 16 seeds. So they're playing to what bracket is that in? What region is that in?
That's the West, and then you got Mountain West.
You got the West, Howard Wagner. You have the Boise State, Colorado is playing also.
Mm-hmm.
And you also have
Virginia and Colorado State.
Yep, Virginia, Colorado State. Yep. And Montana State Grambling for another 16 seed.
Right. So they're just playing. They're basically not in the tournament yet. For real. This is like the play-in, if you will.
Oh, okay.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, so
I remember. Yeah, because I remember like when you if like Howard would win the MEAC, they would automatically go to take on whoever the 1 seed is, and we already knew that was probably as far as they were going to go.
I mean, you remember back in the day when we was in school, Dre, more than quarter 15. You know what I'm saying? When Blake Griffin jacked us up, Oklahoma was 2. Mm-hmm. We were a 15 seed, but I think that's the highest. I think that's the highest I've ever seen anyone that won the MEAC get. But so let me see. So so Byron, I don't know, how is that determined? Because sometimes, like what Dre said, sometimes we get the automatic bid, and sometimes we have to do a play. And I like how is that determined?
Yeah, let me get that information.
Who played the first 4? And is it strength of schedule or something like that?
Yeah, let me go to that now.
Because it's usually 2.
I can read that for you. 1 second.
Oh, but Byron, well, Dre, I'm sorry. Why you're looking at that? You know me, I'm looking for a 5-12 upset. That's what I'm looking for in the men's. Get 5-12 upset. James Madison over Wisconsin.
Man, I'll never forget that 16 being the 1. What was that? UMBC when they beat a 1 seed?
Beat Virginia.
They beat Virginia. Goofies.
So it happens.
It happened. It
And then the year
happened.
after that,
What?
Virginia went to won the championship though.
And they won a championship with the year before or the year after?
The year after.
Yeah, after.
Best.
So it looks like the first four did start in 2011, expanded to just 68 teams, 31 automatic qualifiers. That means winning the conference tournament, 37 at large. And the first four was created to trim that number 264. So basically, the committee ranks every team from 1 through 68. And the first four consist of the four lowest automatic qualifiers and the four lowest seeds at large. So the four lowest seeds who won their conference tournament and the four lowest seeds who got it just off of their schedule and strength of schedule. So the at-large teams plays the at-large teams and the conference champions play the conference champions, if that makes sense.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got you. Oh, so I'm looking at the 512s, Grand Canyon, St. Mary's, and Wisconsin, James Madison. That's what I'm looking at. 512. I'm looking for a 5. There's always a 512 upset somewhere. I don't know if it's gonna be Grand Canyon or if it's gonna be James Madison, but I think it's gonna be a 512 matchup upset somewhere.
Yeah, well, I don't think no McNeese is beating Gonzaga. So that
No. That's why I said Wisconsin. That's Wisconsin, James Madison, and I said St. Mary's, Grand Canyon. I guess Gonzaga better not lose.
You know what? I could see James Madison.
And then they got San Diego State and UAB. I don't know too much, but the Grand Canyon, James Madison. I'm looking at one of them for an upset.
Yeah, it's and then you got. I'm trying to think of another one I'm looking forward to. I know. Yeah, look out for James Madison in Wisconsin, Cavante, 12-5. That could be interesting.
Yes.
And then McNeese against Gonzaga. Gonzaga's a 5 seed this year. Your lovely Gonzaga Bulldogs.
Dangerous. Very dangerous. Very dangerous. You wanted to stay. You do not want to be a 5 seed going to this tournament.
And then you also have Oregon against South Carolina, 11-6. I'm looking at that. That's something I'm looking forward to. Yeah, it's gonna be very interesting. I think you may get Yale is a 13 against Auburn, who's a 4. You got Morehead State against Illinois, who's a 3. Some interesting ones here. Michigan State, Mississippi State, 8-9 matchup is going to be interesting. I'm intrigued. And Dayton, Nevada, 7-10. Cravante. I know you said 5-12. Those 7-10 matchups also are something to look forward to.
Indeed.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, but are we all definitively going with UConn? I mean, are they the?
That's my pick right now, UConn.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't argue with it.
Like I said, I think it's UConn, North Carolina away. I'm not even sure where they are in the bracket, but like, would they meet in the championship or would they meet in the Final Four?
UConn and who?
North Carolina.
UConn and North Carolina would meet in the Final Four.
Yeah.
Okay.
But also, don't forget the Final Four is in Phoenix, Arizona, and Arizona is the 2 seed in the bracket with North Carolina. I actually think Arizona might beat Carolina in the Elite 8.
I could see that.
We'll see. But yeah, UConn also has the team they beat in the finals last year in the championship, San Diego State. And who else was in the Final Four last year? They were also in this bracket. Was it Florida Atlantic also. So you got 3 of the 4 teams who were in the Final Four last year, and the team UConn beat in the championship also in the same bracket. So you could get a UConn San Diego State championship rematch in the Sweet 16. So interesting.
I'm cool with it. Let's do it. But that women's matchup, that's what I want to see.
Yeah, and I'll put the women's back up one more time for everybody. But yeah, man, I agree. I don't think South Carolina's going to falter this year. I think they will get their revenge back. Yeah, but shout out to Maryland women, the only local team to make it to the final up to the final 68, make it to the NCAA tournament. No Maryland. Yeah,
they gonna play. They are going to play.
Only problem with them is
big
they
up
would
to the
have
Lady
to
Terps.
play. They would have to play Stanford in the second round, number 2 seed though.
Like
So we'll see.
That's
We'll see.
that's
We'll see.
unfortunate.
We'll see what happens. We got a big March coming up. Let us know in the comment section what you guys feel about the first four and who you think makes the final four. And if you're on YouTube, make sure you guys leave us a like, hit the thumbs up. It helps us out tremendously and helps YouTube recommend us to other people who would like to see videos like this. And if you're not on YouTube right now, you're watching this on another platform, go over to YouTube right now, search the Flex Zone Podcast, and hit that subscribe button. I think we're one away from 2,100, so let's get there tonight. But Cavante, myself, Dre,
Hey,
we're all feeling UConn in South Carolina. Shout out to Big Reg. I know he's up in Connecticut. He says UConn's winning everything. We'll see what happens with that.
Big Reg, we right there with you, baby.
We'll see what happens with that. But let us know your final four, anything you're looking forward to seeing in the tournament. Any upsets, any shocking matchups we should be looking forward to. And yeah, who you picking up in your bracket as well as we welcome in the meat man, Big Raj
Oh
in the
gosh.
building. Big Raj, it's not only March Madness, it is Meat Madness.
No bread, no water, just meat.
That's a third.
Finish him, Daddy.
That's what they always tell me. Finish him, daddy. But your boy is here in the house. You know what I'm saying? I was listening to some of that great March Madness talk from Cavante and Dre and Byron. So I'm here now. Daddy's home and daddy's ready to work.
Tell the people what they need to do in the chat right now, by the way.
Hit the damn subscribe and like button. Please go to YouTube, the Flex Zone Podcast. If you're on Facebook, if you're on X, head over to YouTube, hit the like and subscribe button, man. It helps the algorithm. It helps us and definitely gives us more watch time and views.
Well, speaking of views and watch time, we got to talk about some NFL because we talked about March Madness. Raj, Derrick Henry, Derrick Henry, as you guys call him, King Henry, he joins the Ravens. He officially signs a 2-year deal worth up to $20 million. Do you like the move? Are you happy the Ravens finally did something? And I know you want to see a little bit more also from this team. It seems like they're losing a lot of people.
Bro, I think we're behind the 8 ball right now. And I hate to say that because I do like the move, by the way. I like getting Derrick Henry. I think that's a good move for the Ravens, especially after losing, Gus Edwards to the Chargers. I think Derrick Henry is going to be a bona fide Hall of Famer when his career is over with. He's turned 30 years old in January. I think he has maybe 1 or 2 years of greatness still left in the tank. As long as we don't burn him out early, I think he can definitely continue to get the job done. But yes, I like the signing. But the Ravens going to have to do a lot more if they want to maintain their division lead in this division, because everybody else in this division has gotten better, from the Steelers into the Cleveland to the Bengals. Everybody's making a lot of moves to try to dethrone the Baltimore Ravens. And Derrick Henry being your splash guy is great and all, but I think you need somebody to go along with Derrick Henry. I think you need some more weapons on offense. I know we just lost Ziegler. He didn't went to the Lions, so he's completely gone and off the board. Traded away Morgan Moses, who was a solid right tackle, and John Simpson was a free agent, and he left to go to the Jets. Well, and Morgan Moses, he went to the Jets as well. So, yeah, the Ravens' offense has a lot of work to do. Derrick Henry is definitely a good piece to get, though, but they need more from that side of the ball, and I just need to see more from them, especially with everything going on in the AFC North. Like, the AFC North feels like the hardest division ever in football history. It seems like everybody wants to go over there. It's the hottest thing ever. I mean, Pittsburgh got damn near 2 quarterbacks this offseason. That tells me something, that, look, not only do they want to win now, they want to win in the future as well. And they already have a great defense. So They made the playoffs last year, so that tells you something like extremely that they're coming, to try to take the throne. And with Cincinnati, getting Geno Stone and possibly Justin Jefferson, he might be on the radar as well.
That's wild to think about,
bro. If he comes over here, man, I don't know what to tell you. It's literally over. It is over if he comes to the Bengals. And the Browns, they got a lot better as well. Getting the Jag, as Steve Smith will call him, Jared Judy, as a wide receiving option. I think he's good. I think he's going to be great for Cleveland. But some people may think otherwise. But I think he's great for them. They also got Tyler Huntley. He's with the Browns as well. And they're gonna get some more pieces. They're probably the most complete team, other than the Bengals in the division. I think the Ravens were a complete team, but we lost so many pieces that I'm not quite sure if they're going to be complete or not. It's all going to depend on that offensive line and what they do with it. But yeah, Derrick Henry is a great piece. He's a great piece. I love it. But they're going to need a lot more than just him on offense.
Ravonte, I want to get your thoughts from the outside looking in. We're going to get to the Steelers next, but how do you feel about Derrick Henry and the Ravens offense, Ravonte? Do you think it works with Lamar Jackson?
This was a must sign. You absolutely had to make this move if you are the Baltimore Ravens. Like Rod said, you guys lost a lot of key, I think, key pieces, and replacing that running back position, because I mean the glaring trend that the Baltimore Blackbirds decided to play when they played the Kansas City Chiefs, because that wasn't the Baltimore Ravens, was the lackluster or lack of use or lack whatever running game. So that being the biggest and glaring need, what better player than a Derrick Henry? So now you have a threat. The Baltimore Ravens was already a top 5 rushing team, and that's with the combination of different running backs and Lamar Jackson. Now you got a bulldozer who, once he gets 3-4 steps, good luck trying to tackle him. So now that just makes the Ravens look more of like a bruising team. And then it's, oh my gosh, Lamar Jackson's still back there too. So that is a great pickup and a much needed pickup. But I guess the concern goes to the offensive line. Lost a couple of pieces there. Ronnie Stanley, what was going to be done there? I don't. Did he restructure yet or no? Yes, no.
Yeah, who restructured?
You're on mute.
Yeah, basically he's taking a pay cut, but they backloaded a lot of incentives so he could make more money, but they gave him a pay cut up front. And I think they restructured Lamar. I just saw something where they just did something with Lamar. I believe they paid out his signing bonus, his $17.5 million bonus for 2024, and $21 million of his 2025 compensation is now guaranteed. And Andrews was paid a $4 million roster bonus as well of his $11 million for 2024. So they're moving money around, looks like.
Listen, that's what you got to do when you're a team that's not that active in a free agency, because we all know, I say it every year, free agency is overpay season, and that's just something that the Ravens don't do well. They don't overpay anybody, especially somebody coming into the organization, somebody new coming into the organization. That's just something that they don't do. But finding a way to give yourself some cap relief is right up the alley, because even if that just gives you more options later on to try to get somebody else on a, as D would say, the coupon on a coupon deal. So, and it's also good that players are willing to do pay cuts, and the guy that's at the top of the list is Lamar Jackson, and he just got that money. You know what I'm saying? He's restructuring already because I think he understands that I need my guys around me in order to win. So that is good moving forward, but not as active in free agency, but also that's not the Ravens. So I'm not completely concerned because one thing the Ravens do better than most teams is developing a draft. So, you know, I'm cool with the Ravens being behind the 8 ball because I know they'll make it up in other ways.
And real quick, onto the Derrick Henry thing. In September, he averages 3.7 yards a carry. In October, 4.6 yards a carry. November, 4.9 yards a carry. In December and January, 5.2 yards a carry. So it seems to get better as the season goes on, as Rodgers' eyes open wide. We like the sound of that. Maybe they'll give him more than 6 carries.
That's scary.
That's
That's
if we
scary.
make it out the
That is
division.
terrifying.
We got to make it out the division first.
Ooh, the AFC North is tough. The AFC North is tough.
Very tough. And speaking of tough,
every time I think,
go ahead.
you doing a robot. You doing a robot thing, man. You might want to come out and come back in. Okay. You doing one of these numbers. But but while you do that, I'm gonna speak for a little bit. But it is just, bro, it's crazy because I just never thought after losing in the AFC Championship game, I always thought when we was going into free agency, I was like, yeah, we're gonna lose some people, but the Ravens are not gonna lose a lot of people. I was like, they're gonna probably lose Patrick Queen, Geno Stone's probably gonna be gone, but I didn't think they was gonna trade Morgan Moses. I didn't think Ziegler was gonna be going to the Lions. I didn't think that they was gonna restructure Ronnie Stanley to bring him back. I thought he might have been the one that got cut or traded, but
right.
The Ravens are being the Ravens, of course. They're not overspending. They're doing some of the right things. They're they're being somewhat proactive, but not really. But they're not panicking, basically. But yeah, man, it's just I never expected that to happen. And on top of that, everybody in the division is like, yo, we're gonna get better. Like usually, like it's maybe one or two moves. It's like every day is something new. It's like every day somebody's getting somebody in our division, and it's like, yo, what is going on here? Like, what is all this proactiveness? Why is this not going over to where the Chiefs are? Like the Chiefs are just chilling right now. Their division is easy. Like literally, Denver's nothing. They're garbage, and the Raiders ain't doing nothing either. So it's like, come on now. Like, why does everybody want to come to the North? Why do y'all want to come to us? Leave us alone. Let us breathe. Let us breathe. You know what I'm saying? So it's just, as a fan, as a Ravens fan, it's frustrating because we didn't win. We didn't even go to the Super Bowl, but yet it still feels like they're coming for us. Like we won the damn Super Bowl. But it is what it is, man.
Well, speaking of which, we had a former Ravens sign with the Steelers. We know the Steelers already had Russell Wilson. Now they trade for Justin Fields, Cavante, for a pack of Girl Scout cookies, you said?
Newsflash. I'll talk about this in the later segment in Goofies because my gosh. And it came out of nowhere. Like I did not see this coming. I did not see this coming at all. Especially pretty much on the heels of Russell Wilson getting a vet minimum pretty much. And here comes Justin Fields. And what's interesting is that I'm hearing that it was his decision. Like the Steelers the Bears kind of did this for him in a weird way. But my thing is, I don't know if it's that he thought Russell Wilson, because he's on a 1-year deal. He's like, I could probably wait out Russell Wilson for a year, and then I'll be the guy. But I don't know. It's just so odd, and but I knew for sure the Bears wasn't trading him in that division because I think him on the Vikings would have been could have been something. But They got not only not in division, not in the conference. Get them up out of here. We want to see you no more. We wish you the best, but we only want to see you no more. So that's very, 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 very interesting. I think he's gone to a grown up organization. I think maybe a smarter organization, maybe not offensively, but definitely a better organization. I just want Justin Fields to get with an offensive guy, though, somebody who can help him grow and help him develop his mechanics and help him develop his arm so he can take the next step, because Justin Fields has a lot of talent. He just needs somebody to help to settle him down, and so he can hone in on it. Is that with the Steelers? That's yet to be determined. Honestly, I don't think so, but because I don't know what it is about defensive head coaches, they typically don't do offense well. So it's completely dependent on the offensive coordinator to get the quarterback right, to get the offensive line right, and get the receivers right. So I believe Arthur Smith is the offensive coordinator for the Steelers. So he had some good stuff when he was in Tennessee, but his stint in Atlanta wasn't great. And Atlanta, he had weapons. You know what I'm saying? And it didn't seem like it worked out. So I wish the best for Justin Fields, but I don't think this was a great landing spot for him.
Also trading away Kenny Pickett to the Eagles as well, Raj.
Yeah, I disagree. I think this was a perfect landing spot for Justin Fields. Is a fresh new start with a competent organization. They don't lose ever, really. They always above 500 when the season is over with. I don't know how they do it. I'm still confused. They haven't had a quarterback in God knows how long, but they find ways to win football games. And I think with the realization last year of having a shitty offense with an average quarterback and Kenny Pickett and Mason Rudolph and Mitchell Trubisky, and firing the offensive coordinator, and also in your own division, seeing Lamar Jackson win the MVP twice, I think they finally got the hint that, look, we got to get with the times. We got to get somebody that can move. Let's start off with Russell Wilson. Let's get him first because we know he's going to be cheap. We know Denver has to owe him money. So let's just lure him over here, give him the starting job. And we'll also, on a sneak tip, trade out Kenny Pickett, to the Eagles because we don't really want him. And we'll see if we are lucky enough to get Justin Fields. And by God, they was lucky enough and damn near criminally got that man for absolutely nothing. So, I mean, it's just the steal of the century, the steal of the entire year, in my opinion. Justin Fields gets to sit behind the Super Bowl champion, Russell Wilson, and learn. He didn't get forced out there like he did with Chicago. And he it's not like he doesn't have any help. He's going to have a Hall of Fame coach behind him, and Mike Tomlin. It's going to be a match made in heaven for both Russell and for Justin. So he'll sit for probably, hopefully the whole year. But I think after Russell was gone, they're gonna light it up, man. I just have a feeling because we already know the Steelers are like number one in getting wide receivers. It don't matter like who they are. It don't matter where they come from or what round it is. They find receivers. They're gonna find one this year in the draft, and guess what? They're gonna be great. They're gonna be great. So I already know it's gonna be trouble down the line for the Baltimore Ravens and everybody else in the AFC North, because now the Steelers have finally woke up. They finally are starting to get back to what they used to do back in the day when they had Ben Roethlisberger. And I think Justin Fields is going to take off, man. I just have a real feeling that after he gets to sit down and actually learn from a guy like Russell Wilson, learn how to do his mechanics correctly, learn how to take off, when to take off. Because I always thought Justin Fields was a good quarterback with Chicago, but I just thought he missed something. Like he missed somebody just mentoring him. instead of him just getting pushed out there with no actual help. But I think with Mike Tomlin and Russell, the sky's the limit, man. Like, there's no excuses, man. He's going to take off. And I think it's going to start not this year, but definitely next year. But either way, it's going to definitely help him.
We will definitely be watching and see what happens with Justin Fields. It is a scary move. Seems like each AFC North team got better, in my opinion. And we'll see what happens with that. Cravante, the Washington Commanders, they're cooking, man. Uh, what's going on down in DC, man? Anything since we last saw you? What's going on in DC? As Ross salutes you.
We are continuing to feel, well, of course, coming into the season, we probably didn't even have 50 players on contract. Like we barely had anybody like legit signed to year 2024. Like we had nowhere near full roster. And Adam Peters is, like I said earlier, continuing to display a master's class on how to properly fill holes for a team and basically retool a team. We've had a hole. Matter of fact, we've had holes at linebacker since London Fletcher. And that was some time ago. Since he's left, we've had holes at linebacker. And getting Frankie Louvu from the Panthers, getting Bobby Wagner from the Seahawks. That's something that's happened since the last time we talked, Byron. But the Bobby Wagner pickup at linebacker, continue to fill holes in the secondary, getting some depth in the secondary and on the defensive line, so we can have a decent rotation, because you already know we got the two Alabama boys in the middle, and we got a nice rotation of edge guys. Austin Eckler, I thought Austin Eckler was a great pickup to add to our running back room. So now Brian Robson doesn't have to get all the carries. He can split them with Austin Eckler, and they can stay fresh pretty much throughout the season. And the biggest question is, well, two: offensive line, or more specifically offensive tackle, because we're addressing needs at the interior of the offensive line, but tackle has been a question for quite some time now. So offensive tackle / offensive line, quarterback. That's where we're at now, Byron. It's basically between Jaden Daniels and Drake May. That's where we at right now. Because my good friend Sam Howell is gone to the Pacific Northwest, and I think he will do well once he gets an opportunity. But that's all but saying we're going quarterback, at number 2. Because now the only person in our quarterback room is Marcus Mariota. So I think Adam Peters is doing a great job of not overpaying anybody. He's literally just filling holes with 1- and 2-year deals and seeing what he got. I think this is his first year, and the roster obviously needed to be overhauled. And this is what he's doing. So this is the first year where, that Adam Peters can really see what he has. But what I'm waiting for is that, I'm waiting for that draft. I can't wait to see what he does with now us having, with the Sam Howell trade, we now have another pick in the top 100. So now we have 6 picks in the top 100. So basically, 6 picks in the first 3 rounds. So I'm really excited to see what he does. Offensive tackle was not addressed in free agency, so I think it's safe to assume that it will be addressed in the draft. So and of course, obviously, quarterback will be addressed in the draft. So I feel good about where we are, and I feel good about where we're going. I'm just excited for the draft to come.
And Chase Young today signs a 1-year deal with the Saints, former Washington Commander.
You know, we got a third round pick, and I believe that was in a backwards way. That was like he's helping himself out, getting that third round pick for Chase Young. Um, and the issue with Chase Young was that he does his own thing. In the defense, he doesn't play within the defense. He just does his own thing. And when you do your own thing and not playing as a team, you become the glaring concern. And it was crazy because I heard reports that they were talking about benching him in a Super Bowl. Now, I didn't believe they would actually do it, but it's crazy that a report like that will come out and he ain't been there long. So it's like he's causing havoc in the wrong way for his new team. So I knew he wasn't staying with the 49ers. Him going to the Saints is interesting. I mean, I guess another change of scenery. He pretty much made a triangle through his time in the NFL right now. So I again wish him well, no ill will. But he's gone from a team that needs to rebuild to a Super Bowl contender to a team that needs to rebuild. So I I hope I hope he finds it. I hope he finds his place. But Chase Young is Chase Young. Now you see what happened to Montez Sweat versus what happened to Chase Young. Just saying.
Kind of makes me wonder why the Saints aren't in on a quarterback like Justin Fields. I don't know.
Who knows, man? But yeah, Chase Young.
They ain't got no money. They ain't got no
Chase Young. No, I mean that was a good pickup by the Saints, but that's going to show you how much Clowney is going to probably get on the market. You know what I'm saying? So that was a precursor to what he's probably going to demand. And like Chase Young got $13 million, and he had less sacks than I did. So I mean, what are y'all going to give me? Y'all going to give me 13, 14, 15 $million to come play for y'all? Whichever team that might be. Could be the Jets, could be Carolina, could be the Ravens. Who knows? But yeah, man. It is a good pickup for them. The Saints, though, they still gonna need some other pieces, man. They're behind the 8 ball just a little bit. But either way, it was a good pickup for them. As far as the Commanders are concerned, I am very happy for you guys, Gravante. You're actually making some legit, free agency pickups where we're not looking at you side eye, like, oh my goodness, they got Albert Hands up and downs worth, like why would you go get him or Artem Achaleta for I don't know 7 years, $100 million? You're not making no more of those type of moves, so that's definitely a good thing. It seems like y'all have an actual plan in place. And like y'all might not get now y'all might not get Caleb Williams because I think he will go to the Bears, and I think that's a huge mistake if he goes there. I think that's a huge mistake, but it's going to work out to y'all favor because y'all going to get probably maybe Jaden, and Jaden's going to have a phenomenal career with the Commanders. It might be a situation where it's like Bryce Young and C.J. Stroud all over again.
That's what I'm hoping for, Gerard. That's what I'm hoping for, bro. I'm trying to be the Texans, yo. I'm trying to get the turnaround like the Texans, man.
So I mean that I think that's going to probably be what it is. But yeah, man, I think the Commanders are going to be a surprise team this year. Yeah, I mean we seen it before with the Commanders, but I think this is a little different because y'all actually have the general manager, the actual owner, the actual everything in place, and I think it's just going to lead to great things in the future for them, especially with the Cowboys. Seem like they're going this way. the Giants are already this way, and the Eagles are trying to get back up. So like the Commander can, sneak in there and take the division, or at least get that a nice wild card spot.
Yeah, it'll be intriguing to see. The draft is a little bit over a month away. We'll definitely be doing some draft profiles, probably starting in the next few weeks. We'll get those out to you real soon. But looks like Joshua Dobbs, just real quick on a free agency tip. Joshua Dobbs signs with the 49ers. We have what else did we get? The 49ers signed Leonard Floyd to a 2-year deal, Devondre Campbell, Chase Lucas, Brandon Parker, and Isaac Yadam to 1-year deals, and re-signed Jose Feliciano. And linebacker Leighton Vander Esch of the Cowboys did announce his retirement due to a neck injury, and his career comes to an end. So that's a tough one. And Mike Williams, Cravante, a guy we like coming out in the draft. He is a free agent expected to visit the Steelers as well this week. Speaking of the Steelers and the Jets.
Oh gosh.
Oh, it just gets worse and worse. Oh,
wait. You said. Wait a minute.
Go ahead, Cravante. What were you saying?
Yeah, what were you about to say?
You said Steelers, Jets, and who?
I think it's Steelers, Jets, and remember Keenan Allen was traded as well to the Bears, but it looks like the Jets, Steelers, Panthers are the other team.
Isn't it weird that you get your weapons and then you trade your quarterback? That just screams that you're going to get a quarterback in the draft for the Bears. I'm like, now they got DJ Moore, Keenan Allen. Now you trade Justin Fields.
And the Keenan Allen only has one more year left on his contract. So are you going to re-sign him even though he's getting older? You're going to pay him all that money? Or are you going to let him go after this year? So, intriguing. What are you going to say, Raj?
I was going to say, have we talked about Patrick Queen and his comments to the Baltimore?
Yeah, go ahead. What did he say specifically?
I mean, you can pull it up. You can just pull it up and read it, and and because he said some words. He said some parting words to us these last couple of days, and yeah, because I don't think we really addressed him going to the Steelers like that. But
he's playing the villain role. Is that what he's saying?
No, it's more than just a villain role.
We can embrace the villain. Hold on.
So he said something in a tweet. He tweeted something like maybe yesterday.
Well, let's go to the old Twitter then. While we do that, I mean that's a solid move.
Yeah, it's just, I mean, don't get me wrong. I don't have nothing negative to say about Patrick Queen. I will say that I was not happy that he went to the Steelers. I did not like that move at all. I thought he should have, waited a little bit and got a little bit more money. But I understand where he's coming from. I understand the frustration that he must have felt, you know what I'm saying, when he was here, saying that he's, pretty much in the shadow of Roquan Smith. Roquan Smith is the guy that made him better, yada, yada, yada. So I can understand where the frustration, is coming from, and the fact that the Ravens didn't even give him his 5th-year option or give him an option to actually really stay here after having such a great year, that, maybe he does want some revenge. Maybe he does want to get back at the organization. Maybe he does want the organization to feel a little bit of pain of how he felt. And why not join the Steelers where he can, get some revenge on his newfound enemy. But yeah, this is exactly what he said.
And I quote, "Honestly, bro, y'all can STF you now. It's not even that deep for us players until game week, and y'all can't understand the fact it wasn't up to me. I gave y'all everything I had. Now when it's time for me to do what I need, y'all get hurt about everything I got to say. Go touch some grass and feel the wood in y'all like the one showing love, even with the switch that's not to y'all."
So yeah, so basically he the fans was getting on him. The fans was very upset with him, especially after the press conference when he said he wanted to be the villain. and this is his response in return. and, and I hate to say this, but sometimes you need to get off of Twitter, man. I mean, sometimes I'm
Don't
serious.
hit send. Don't hit send.
Don't hit send. Don't. I mean, granted, leave it on the field. You
Oh
know, portray
gosh.
that on the field, because once you put it out there that you a little bit sensitive to things, they gonna come after you. Like the fans are gonna
Look at
come after.
LeBron. Look at LeBron when he went to Miami. He played the villain.
Kevin Durant.
KD. Yep,
KD.
KD.
They tried to play the villain role in the back, and it just made them look foolish, man. It made both of them look foolish. But Patrick Queen, I do wish you the best, brother. I don't wish you the best when it comes to victories. Of course, I hate them damn Steelers. I don't want you to win a damn game. But as far as health wise and career wise, I wish you the best. You were a great Raven for us, and you did help us, get to the AFC Championship game. And you was a team player, but yeah, man, you gotta stay off. You gotta stay off the Twitter, man. You gotta stay off it. Twitter is a cesspool of garbage. I've been saying it since the beginning. There's nothing positive besides sports news that comes from Twitter and some other things, but yeah, man, stay off of social media, man.
Man, a great Raven. He was a good Raven, and you're right. I wish him the best as far as health, but anything else, man, forget that, brother, man. Get him off the screen. I don't even want to see his ugly self, man. Sitting over here trying to diss Flock Nation when this was a home that got you paid. You forgot where your bread and butter is, brother. But don't worry, we gonna show him where that bread and where that butter came from. We gonna show him what it is over here. This big trust over here. You know what I mean? Be like Odell and be thankful for what we gave you. Baltimore made you, man. Sitting over here acting like that. Don't be acting like, man, come on, man. Stop playing, man. I can't wait till we see them boys in Pittsburgh. They wanted this. This is what they gonna get. The rivalry is renewed. We gonna make sure that DH gonna go ahead and truck you. That's what we gonna do.
That there is no rivalry because we don't beat them. Okay, we don't beat them.
Well, guess what? That's gonna stop this year.
No.
And we do beat them.
We said that for the last 3 years, and we still have not got.
Nah. This is a different year. We got the MVP quarterback. They wanted it. They got a little gasoline. Well, guess what? We gonna gas that thing up.
We gassed it up with 2 losses last year. Well, the last 2-3 years we.
And wait a minute. Wait a minute. Okay, we lost one of the games. Yeah, the last game, we had that thing secured. You don't think that Lamar Jackson and the boys would have went in there and would have beat them in that last game? Man,
I don't know.
Number 1 seat on lock. Stop playing, man. You over here. Over here, you see, you being all politically correct.
I'm not being politically correct.
We ain't doing that.
Us.
This is Baltimore, and they want to do that. Then guess what? The rivalry's renewed. Players. I don't even know the dates. Byron, pull them dates up, man. We gonna show them.
There is no dates yet. They beat us a lot. They are our. They
beat us a lot.
All right. They are our daddies right now, and until otherwise, they're gonna continue to be our daddies. Until
this year we daddy.
We'll see. I hope.
So, Dre, how you feel about the Justin Fields move? You don't care about Patrick Queen. How you feel about the Justin Fields move?
Yeah, to Patrick Queen. Now, Justin Fields, that's somebody they should be. That's somebody we should be like, whoa, on our heels about. The fact that they got Justin Fields. The Pittsburgh Steelers have a quarterback not only of right now, but the quarterback of the future, and they basically got them both for pennies. They got Russell on a minimum veteran salary, and they got Justin Fields for a low draft pick. So Pittsburgh right now is on the up and up. I think that they're winning, and now they're in that class right there with the Ravens, Browns, and the Bengals all having quarterbacks for the future moving forward. I'm looking forward to seeing what happens in this division, and I honestly think that the Ravens will probably tie with each one of these teams because we seen it last year where the Ravens lost to the Browns, but then beat the Browns. We seen it with Joe Burrow. I think coming back, we'll split with them, and I do believe that we split with Pittsburgh this year. I don't believe we sweep them, but I do believe we do split with them because we always do have a tough time matching up against Pittsburgh. The fact that they have Russell Wilson, a veteran quarterback who's had more touchdown passes as a completion than the Pittsburgh Steelers offensively did. So I think that Russell being in there, he's going to help out Pittsburgh. And then Justin Fields, these are both quarterbacks that Mike Tomlin likes. I think that Russell Wilson getting back to a coach that was similar to what won him a Super Bowl championship with Pete Carroll. I think that Justin Fields learning under a veteran quarterback, a Super Bowl winning quarterback at that with Russell Wilson, being under somebody that wants him, that wants to embrace him. I think that a new fresh start, it'll give him motivation, similar to Baker Mayfield, what he's been doing, what he's been able to do in Tampa. And I think that right now, the Pittsburgh Steelers, we always talk about them being a team, a playoff team, but now with all these moves that have been made, I think that now, yeah, you can say that this division is not gonna. It's already not easy, but now it's definitely not going to be easy. The fact that these additions have come at the quarterback position for the Pittsburgh Steelers.
And Derrick Henry, Dre.
Oh, DH, you already know how I feel about that. That's why I said we're gonna truck them boys, man. DH back then, now you got Lamar already with his running capabilities. You already have the running backs that the Ravens have produced, but now you got DH back there, that powerhouse back there. Man, good luck stopping the Ravens. At this point, all we need is to if we can get a like a Anquan Bolden, Steve Smith type of wide receiver in there, with you got Zay, you got our tight ends, Andrews, Likely. Uh, man, we really going to do it because Zay can stretch the field. You got Andrews and Likely in there, and then you just get that one receiver, that go-to guy. Man, the sky's the limit for this team at this point. I think that the Ravens will be back next year. I don't think it'll be easy. They may not be the one seed, but they'll definitely be one of the top seeds in the NFC. I mean, in the in the AFC.
How you feel about the offensive line, Dre? I think that's more important than anything right now.
What were you saying? You said what?
The offensive line. I know you talked about receiver, but what about offensive line? We've seen Zeitler leave
Oh,
today for the line.
they. I think the Ravens already will know to shore that up. You can't have Lamar Jackson winning an MVP and then have a free agent signed to the caliber of Derrick Henry and not shore up your offensive line. They'll take. This is the Ravens. They'll take care of all those needs, and I think that also defensively they'll take care of whatever needs that need to be made. I think that the Ravens, you saw last year, we signed Lamar to a long-term deal. We made sure we had that big splash receiver in Odell Beckham. We drafted Zay Flowers, and you saw how the offense was able to start clicking and then we also hired a new offensive coordinator. So we were doing things, transitioning with today's times, leaning more towards offense, though we still kept the fundamentals of our defense, and we had a really great defense as well. So it was a nice balance between the two. So I think that the Ravens will continue to build upon that moving forward. And you got the schedule right here lined up. No game should ever be taken advantage of, but like I said, I saw Paul make a comment. I'm not the only team home I really would be worried about is three. No, really two. Buffalo and the Eagles. Those are the only two I really would be worried about. Denver, you already know how I feel about Sean Payton and what he did to Russell, so they need to get that.
Time for some get back.
And the Raiders, that's not going to be, even if with their quarterback situation, it's not going to be easy, but that should be a victory. Can you scroll up, Byron? Oh, never mind. Okay, you put Paul's comment down. The away opponents. That Texans game is a sleeper because I think that we played Stroud in his first game, and then we played him again in the playoffs. I think that he'll be motivated, so that could be a possible loss right there. The Chargers, that's going to be a really interesting matchup. I got to see what happens with the draft before I pick that. And then Dallas, Kansas City. So maybe about 6 or 7 losses possibly for the Ravens, but
A lot of losses, Dre.
it is. But I mean, last year that kind of got some teams right in the dance. But I mean, then again, you know, maybe 6.
That
I could see
Commanders game
maybe
won't be
from
easy
that
either, bro.
6 losses.
That Commanders game won't be easy, Cavante, right?
No, we're not.
Just don't underestimate it. Don't underestimate it. That's all I got
Oh,
to say.
I'm not underestimating it. But like I said,
And it depends
some
on
teams
what
I have to
time of
reserve
year.
before. Some teams I got to see in the draft. I got to see who y'all get in the draft before I could make a definite yay or nay. It's some teams from that schedule you already know what you're going to get, but then it's some teams where I have to see what the draft is like, because with the Commanders, it's definitely a matter of who they draft as their quarterback with their draft pick. They're number 2 right now, and there's still a chance. I know that we're like, okay, the Bears are going to pick Caleb, but then the NFL is unpredictable. You never know. The Bears have screwed this up before, so they could draft somebody else. They could trade that draft pick. We don't know. But
I think they're gonna screw it up with getting Caleb Williams. But that's just my opinion.
Damn.
Right.
Yeah, you see the Commanders' opponents as well. Just wanted to throw those up there, but yeah, it'll be. I mean, like I said, you really can't make any determination, Dre. I agree. So after the draft, and we know the Ravens last year really didn't make their biggest move, which was Odell, until Easter Sunday, and then signing Lamar the day of the draft. So you got to be patient with the Ravens because they don't make all their moves at once. So we'll see what happens with Clowney. Thankfully, he hasn't signed anywhere yet. Van Noy hasn't signed anywhere. So one of them hopefully will be back.
I would love for Clowney to be here, especially the fact that Chase Young went to the Saints. That was somebody that I was kind of hoping that if we didn't get Clowney, I was like, okay, Chase Young. But hey, Chase Young went to the Saints. Then let's talk. Let's get Clowney in there. I know some people don't feel like how I felt about Clowney. I thought Clowney fit the Ravens scheme. I thought he found a good home here, and I think that the team should build upon what they had.
I think they need to sign a lineman quickly.
I think they're going to draft on Ryan.
I think they would draft a lineman.
They're probably going to draft 2 or 3 of them. Probably 2 of them, and hope one of the young guys.
Now I can say this. I think in this draft, I know we're talking about the quarterbacks a lot because they're about 5 or 6 that we keep talking about. But I do believe that also there's some wide receivers, there's some offensive linemen that you can get, and I do believe also defensively there's some players that you can get. I think that this is a really good deep class with a lot of positions, but unlike other draft classes before, I think this is a good one for if you try to pick up some pieces. And the Ravens have 9 draft picks in this draft, so
yeah,
they got 9, but it just depends on who they pick, and sometimes they don't always do a great job. Don't get me wrong, they find pieces, but sometimes you have your Jalen Armour Davises and your Pepe Williams in there who does absolutely nothing for your squad, and it's like, okay, you got these guys wasted picks, but it's like sometimes you'll find a Tyler Lindenbaum or Hamilton or hopefully Trenton Simpson. Well, hopefully he does come along this year, but it just depends, man, because we're number 30, and number 30 is all the way at the end. So I'm just hoping that he really knows what he's doing by letting go of Zeichler, letting go of Morgan Moses, guys that were solid. Now they had some rough games, but they were solid. You know, we could depend on them. I don't know about Ben Cleveland because he might get a shot. I don't know about the strong man Voorhees coming out the water. You know, Jason as he's calling. I don't know about these guys, man. I don't know about these guys. So I mean, you betting on Ronnie Stanley one more year? That's tricky.
No, I'm not.
That's
You know
tricky.
how I feel about
I'm
Ron
saying
Stanley.
they are. They're banking on that he's gonna hold up the entire year. And the only solid lineman we have is Lindenbaum. That's it. That's the only guy that's solid that we know he's going to be good. Everybody else on that line is a damn toss up, and that's the biggest thing that scares me going into this season. Letting go a lot of those guys and not really we ain't replace them yet, but not knowing who they're going to replace them with and what they're going to do. That's the very scariest part.
Devontae, you ready to get goofy?
Let's do it.
It's time for Cavante's Goofies of the Week, everybody.
Of course. Something wrong here.
Well, now that's goofy.
Indeed. It's always good to see the good brother Goofy on a weekly basis to help introduce this wonderful segment. Welcome, good people, Goofies of the Week, sponsored by the Flex Zone. Appreciate you guys for giving me a little bit of time to let me tell the good people what I thought was goofy this week. For the sake of time, it's a little late. I'm gonna try to keep it short, but I think the main goofy. Well, shoot. Let me tell you the different levels of goofies that we have. We have I'm sorry. We have a low level of goofiness where we laugh at it, we kiki, we chuckle, we laugh, and in the hopes that it does not become a higher level of goofy when we have to congregate and come together and figure out why, who, what, where, when, why this particular event, person, or organization is being goofy. Now, in this case, it is an organization. We're all familiar with those. Well, let me say those of us that's been under a rock. Those of you that's been under a rock and is not following the NFL. There's been a lot of controversy behind Justin Fields and his time with the Chicago Bears. Chicago has had numerous opportunities to get to find Justin Fields a new home. And
Of course, South Carolina.
wait, am I back?
Yep, you're back.
Oh, this past weekend, Justin Fields gets traded to the Pittsburgh Steelers on the heels of Russell Wilson getting signing with the Pittsburgh Steelers. So now the Steelers quarterback room is significantly better than it was last year. Now, what did Chicago get in return from Justin Fields? Look like they got a 6th-round pick. 6th-round pick. That's what they got. With the potential of it being a 4th-round pick if he plays 51% of the snaps, which we all know that that's probably not going to happen unless something kind of happens to Russell Wilson. A 6th-round pick, Chicago? And word on the street is that they had a lot of different offers, a bunch of them, and I'm sure they were a lot better than this. Now, granted, I think Justin Fields had something to do with this. I believe he probably wanted to go to the Steelers, but Justin Fields is worth way more than a 6th, and he's worth more than a 4th. You could have got the Chicago Bears could have got a 3rd-round pick for Justin Fields towards the end of the season, during the season. Why now? Why now? And you basically give him away for a ham and cheese sandwich and some peanuts. and whatever favorite candy you guys like. This is goofy on the Bears' part because the Bears, the competency is not there. And I feel like and Raj was alluding to this before, I feel like Caleb Williams may not be the right move for this organization because they don't do well with developing quarterbacks. And granted, they never have. And the Chicago Bears have been around for quite some time. They're one of the cornerstones for the NFL. They don't have not one top tier quarterback in the history of this organization. And that is a problem. I don't know if it's ownership or if it's the front office or if it's a mixture of both. But the Chicago Bears have not done well with picking quarterbacks. They've been, no pun intended, striking out with the quarterback selections. And I think it's because they just don't do well with developing them. And Justin Fields has a lot of great potential. I would love to see him with an offensive guru that can unlock some of these talents. But the Bears basically swinging and missing with another quarterback, and then on top of all of that, you give him away for pennies. A 6th round pick. Nobody believes. Oh, look at him having so much fun. He's gonna be doing. He's probably gonna be doing a lot of that in Pittsburgh in the future. Maybe. But my thing is Chicago. Whoa, snap. That was a tough video. That's a tough video. He will probably be better appreciated though. He's going to a better organization. So this is great for Justin Fields. But for the Chicago Bears, I just feel like they're going to continue to make mistake after mistake after mistake. Why the hell would you get Keenan Allen and then let Justin Fields go? I guess you're trying to set up for Caleb Williams, right? I don't know. You still have a defensive-minded head coach. Who is the offensive coordinator over there? Do we know?
With the Bears?
Yeah.
Did they bring somebody in? I can find that out for you.
I think they did. They promote somebody? I think I don't know, but Eberflus is not there.
So the Bears tight end coach and offensive coordinator Steve Waldron.
Oh, he came from Seattle, right?
Believe so.
Yeah, right.
I said Steve. Sorry, Shane Waldron. That's his name.
Okay. I don't know. He did a hell of a job with Geno Smith, so maybe. But yeah, I don't know. And Chicago, I think, is going to be in. I don't know, man. There's just some things that just stick to certain organizations, and Chicago has always prioritized defense over everything. And so it's not surprising that they have a defensive-minded head coach. And, some of the best defensive players have come from, Chicago systems historically. Ron Rivera, what I'm saying, was on that team. Leslie Frazier, Mike Singletary. So many great names. But we switched to the offense, and it's like crickets. It's Walter Payton. What else you got? So I think they're going to continue to go down this goofy path that they're doing, and Caleb Williams is probably going to be on his second quarterback by next Thanksgiving. He's probably going to be on his second. I'm sorry, he's going to be on his second head coach by next Thanksgiving. He's probably going to be on his second head coach, which is a grand way to start your career. I'm being very sarcastic, being very facetious with that. That's how you kill a young quarterback's career. Oh, wait. Look what they did to Justin Fields. It's all good. But glad Justin Fields got up out of there. But the Steelers fleeced the Bears, and unfortunately, that's a Bear thing to do. Y'all know my line. There's a thin line between goofy and great, and the Chicago on the wrong end of it. Got to do better, guys.
Yeah, of course. Something wrong here.
Well, now that's goofy.
It's the bare necessities.
You make a good point.
The
There are just some
Bears.
organizations that just have it, and then some organizations just don't. Pittsburgh, they draft wide receivers good. Green Bay's lucked up with quarterbacks. So it's just some orgs, they just know how to draft certain positions really well. And like you said, the Bears, they haven't even had a 4,000-yard quarterback yet. That's insane. I'm like,
That's
wow.
Wasn't Jay Suckler a 4,000-yard quarterback?
I think he was like three, like right. He was close, but I don't think he reached four. And even him, they just haven't drafted a guy in that position good since honestly Jim McMahon. I mean, they took Rex Grossman to the Super Bowl. What does that tell you? That was really defensive oriented with Brian Urlacher and those boys.
Episode 433, Dre. What can the people expect? And got some big guys coming. I know we working on a few people as well. I saw Trippy in the thread as well with Patrick Queen. I know we're working on him also.
Yeah. Next week was supposed to be Miss Sharon, actually. So
Steelers fan, right?
Yes.
Oh joy. She get the gloat.
So got that. Look, it's a lot to get into with sports. I mean, this stuff is unlimited. You got, like I said, this is arguably, one of my favorite times of the year, but also arguably the best time in all of sports. I mean, you got the road to WrestleMania, you got March Madness, NBA regular season is about to conclude like in a blink of an eye. You got the NFL draft coming up. It's a lot happening in the world of sports, y'all. So we busy over here right now. Oh, and baseball, spring training right now.
Yeah, baseball actually starts this week,
on.
Dre. They got the Dodgers and Padres playing in, what is that, South Korea?
Yeah.
Oh, the regular season starts this week?
Yeah, it starts, I think, Wednesday and Thursday? Or Thursday and Friday? You can watch that 5 a.m.
Yeah, because the Orioles start next week, yeah, so.
Oh, well, okay.
Co-founder, executive producer, head of the Flex on Table, Flex on the Side, Drizzy Dre. Voice of Reason, captain of the Goofy Ship, the other co-founder. Cavante, we got to get those draft profiles started real soon.
Oh, yes, we do. And we got, it's going to be a lot of linemen, a lot of receivers, a lot of quarterbacks. God damn.
Yeah, we'll start working on those probably within the next week. Get some out before the end of the month, heading into April as well. Executive producer Andre Mel, senior producer Cavante Harris, social media producer, the Meat Man Big Raj. What do people need to do if they're watching right now? A lot of people in here tonight.
Yeah, man. Like I said before, if you have not switched over to Facebook to the YouTube channel, it's the Flex Zone Podcast on YouTube. There's way more content on that. Trust me and believe. Hit that like, hit that subscribe button. You'll get everything. Got a lot more content coming out as well. Got to continue to talk about free agency. The tournament starts Thursday, so I'm pretty sure we'll have some updates throughout the week. AEW Dynamite on Wednesday, with Dylan and the gang of Misfits. That's on his channel. And of course, we're going to still be working on Rita. She had a mishap today, so we'll definitely get her on the show sometime soon, but I just hope that she gets better. And of course, like I said before, we'll have more content as well. And also, there's a special friend in the chat. I see Sierra is in the building. So what's going on, Miss Jacobs?
Hey, Sierra.
Hey, what's going on,
What
Sierra?
up, what
How you
up,
doing?
what
How
up?
you been? Good to see you. Hope all is well. Like Rod said, make sure you go over to the Flex Zone Podcast on YouTube. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Watch our videos. Like Dre said, baseball season coming. We're going to have some Orioles position previews coming out this week. We're going to have some draft profiles with myself and Devontae. Got the live streams. WrestleMania's coming up. We got a big month of March that's remaining, and a big April coming up, as well as we have a new AEW pay-per-view in April as well. So a lot to look forward to coming up this season. Of course, the Orioles content will be coming to you fast and furious with the post-game shows and the shorts. So we are the Flex Zone Podcast. Throw up your ones and acknowledge the Heavyweight Sports Podcast table. Only place giving you sports how you want it, fellas.
When you need it.
Yes, big shout out to Rita. She will be on the show soon. Get well soon. Working on Trippy, getting him real soon. Got others coming back real soon. So stay tuned to the Flex Zone Podcast. Hit the bell, hit the like button, hit that subscribe button if you're new. For Roger, for Gravante, for Dre, God's favorite host signing off. Time to put the kids to bed. Big shout out to everybody in the chat. Big shout out to Sierra. Big shout out to Paul. Big shout out to Big Red. Big shout out to Taylor. Big shout out to Miss Queen. Big shout out to everybody who's tuned in. I know Mark was in here. I know everybody on X, Facebook, and of course on YouTube. Thank you guys for watching. And if you're watching this later on, make sure you stay tuned to the channel. Clips and more coming soon. Again, have a good night, everybody. March Madness is here. We'll be talking about it right here on the Flex Zone Podcast. Only place giving you sports how you want it, when you need it.
You need it.
And until next Monday, it's the Flex Zone Podcast. We'll be out of here. We're getting out of here. It's time to go to bed. Good night, everybody. Peace.
Peace.